So I've been playing with this idea of 10%, bucketing our week into 10%. And so most of my clients have some level of leadership within their companies. Okay. And so I say, think about your time in these 3 different 10% buckets.
Okay.
So for the ones that have direct reports, you should be spending 10% of your time every week having one-on-ones with your direct reports.
Not each direct report,
No,
just total.
total.
Okay.
That's total bucket.
Okay.
So that means 4 hours each week.
Got it.
If you have enough direct reports to warrant that.
Okay.
If you have just one, don't spend 4 hours with her.
No.
Like, or him.
Got it.
Like, that's too much. But it's a way to think about it, because some have, 8 direct reports or 12 direct reports or a lot. And it's a way of kind of putting some bounds around it. So that's one. The second one is 10% of your time aligning with other leaders. So if you're a director level or above, you've got to do a lot of alignment inside your organization, because there's politics and you need to make sure you're walking with others. So make sure you've got those on the calendar.
Okay.
And then the other one is the hardest, probably 10% of your time working on the business and not in the business. So that's like 4 hours carved each week outside of your day-to-day firefighting, seeing clients, whatever happens to be, actually planning, strategizing, fixing a broken process, doing something that isn't firefighting or day-to-day reaction. Okay, so
Thoughts?
Yeah, what do you think?
Go.
So what do you think? What do you think about that?
So I like it. I think it depends on...
There's a big button. I can see this. Keep going.
I think it depends on what you do. So if you work in a big corporation, yes, I think that completely applies. If you run a business, I think it's the 80-20 rule, where you need to spend your time where your revenue comes from, which may or may not be with your direct reports or your lost in your bud, or walking with other leaders. It may be on business development, and 20% of your time needs to be on working in the business. I'm a big proponent, though, of working on the business. I implemented that probably a year ago, and it was really hard for me, because I thought, oh goodness, I'm going to take 4 hours out of my week. And that's what it is. It's carved out on my calendar, away from quote unquote revenue generating activities, seeing clients or potential clients, to really think strategically about my business. And I forget what the saying is about time and work expanding to fit the time that we allot for it. But I didn't skip a beat, and everything still fit itself in. I still saw the same amount of clients, if not more, in the, if we want to use a 40-hour work week, the 36 hours versus the 40 hours. Because, I was talking to a colleague the other day. He was thinking through, he's kind of taking a sabbatical this month on and we may have talked about it, confusing productivity and activity. We're busy, but are we really productive? And really evaluating, to your point, what it is that we're doing with that time, and being intentional around, let's be productive with our time and not just busy. Because if you're one of those people that shows up at 9 o'clock and leaves at 5, you're going to figure out some way to fill that 8-hour time block, versus going about it and being strategic with your time. If you're spending that 4 hours a week to think about how you're going to spend your time and where you need to spend your time and with whom, then you're going to be that much more productive, whether or not you run a business or you work for a business.
Yeah.
So I like it, but I think there's a depends there, whether you work for somebody or you run a business.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, if you don't have the politics or the necessity to align with other leaders, you can save some time there. If you don't have direct reports, you can save some time there. Yeah. But it sounds like everybody could be doing more of the working on rather than in.
Absolutely.
And figuring out how to do that. So for you, when you block that time, is it all on one day, or do you kind of spread it across the week?
No, it's Wednesday mornings.
Oh, Wednesday mornings.
Wednesday
So
mornings.
that's the time you block off for that.
That's my time. And it's funny, like, I love my career. I love what I do for a living, but it also gives me something to look forward to midweek and breaks the week up, because I don't have to suit up for that, right? Like, I don't have to get dressed nice to go to a coffee shop or work from my home office to really dive into my business. I can be comfortable in sweats or workout clothes. It's like my uniform of choice, right? And it does. It breaks up the work week. And my team has adopted this too. So my team actually works from home on Wednesdays now. So it gives them energy. And I think we talk a lot about energy in the business, regardless of what you do. If your cup isn't full, you're not going to be good for anybody else. And that's why it's important for me to incorporate fitness in my world, because there's a lot of chemical science around why it's good for you. And for me, I am a better person, not just for myself, but for my son and for my clients and the people that I surround myself with when I make sure to incorporate that in my life.
Yeah.
And if that means waking up at 5:30 to do it versus sleeping an extra hour, I'm actually a better person for getting that hour of activity in before my day gets started than I would be for getting that extra hours of sleep. Sorry.
I'm feeling so guilty. I'm feeling so guilty.